out to all of us to be able to talk to you guys and ask these questions.
That's so sweet, and I appreciate that. I am super grateful to be here. I want y'all to know that. Making a movie that we, talk about and remember from 100 years ago is super special to me. So thank you. I am thankful.
Okay, so I'm going to ask an easy question.
You can ask anything you want, baby.
And then we will open it up to the people that came here to see you and ask these questions and be a part of this panel.
You can ask anything you want, baby.
So you kind of already started answering this question, but what is it honestly like to still be a part of something that so many people have such a strong connection with, and it's such a fandom? It's literally like its own cult of people that enjoy these movies.
Wow, we're getting real deep. And I'm so emotional and sensitive because I'm a huge horror fan. And I remember watching these movies when I was a kid. So to me, being at a convention is so sentimental and nostalgic because it's like we're going back in time and remembering these moments of watching the movies with like cousins and best friends, and we weren't supposed to watch these movies. We were like under blankets and sleepovers. So to be a part of, Sleepaway Camp is just something that is so incredibly special in that it connects us. It's like we're family and a community of love and kindness and inclusivity. So to just be part of this community is the most amazing thing in the world.
A community of kindness and love based around horrible murders. That's what I'm talking about.
That's how we keep people out from our group. We're like, you know what? If you're not cool and you can't handle it, stay out because we love each other and we don't need your bullshit.
Okay. This is the part, look, we already have a hand going up. Awesome, that's what I want to see. You guys participate.
Hi, my name is Dylan.
Hi.
Big fan. I remember watching Sleepaway Camp, all three of them, with my grandpa late at night. Super young, probably no grandpa should be watching those movies with his
Bad
grandson. But apart from that, I want to ask, it's kind of a twofer. When the ending of the first movie, of course, of how shocking it was, I would like to get an idea of how you felt when they were filming that last scene, and when did you realize the actual gravity of people truly enjoying pieces that you have been a part of?
Wow, well, thank you, Dylan. I appreciate that. And tell Grandpa I say thank you and hi. So the last night of filming, has anyone not seen Sleepaway Camp?
What?
See, there's a few people.
Like one person.
And
Maybe two.
Oh my gosh. And three. Okay. So I'm not going to be a dick. I don't want to spoil the movie. But I'll be here until tomorrow night. When we filmed the last scene, it was just like I was 13, standing on the beach, and they had a mask of my face. I don't know why, and they put it on someone. And I remember being there and thinking, wow, this is super cool and unique, and I wonder how it will translate. Because I didn't fully understand it. I was at camp filming a movie, I thought, kissing people and canoeing and playing volleyball. I was like, did we make a movie? And then when I saw it on the big screen, I brought my entire 8th grade class with me. And the very last scene that came on the screen, I went, oh, wow, that's what we did? So it was totally shocking to me. And it wasn't until 2001 when I went to really my first convention, the Fangoria of Horrors weekend that they had in New York. We brought the entire cast, and there were a lot of people there. And we were shocked. We were like, somebody's seen this movie? And it was just amazing to me. And since then, It has been the most beautiful and incredible journey and adventure, meeting everyone and just really sort of getting me all choked up here. You know, reliving something that was special to me while I was a kid. So thank you.
Yeah. Being emotional is something that happens up here.
You know what?
It happens to me once a con.
It happens to me every 10 seconds. And it's like I'm trying to process my gratitude. So in order for me to get through like how joyful I am and how much I appreciate all of you, it sort of forms itself into like this emotional, you know, mess of mine. Hi.
Hi, Felissa, Jordan. I wanted to go across, you know, sort of building on that, not only with that, you know, a very shocking scene at the end, but of course the curling iron scene as well. A lot of those really pushed boundaries. Taking a sort of postmodern look at that, you really pushed a lot of boundaries with a film 40 years in its age to sort of, you know, queer representation as well as, you know, trans representation that really pushed boundaries in this. And did you really see any sort of profound effect later on in your career of that occurring?
Just being incredibly close to the LGBTQ plus community and feeling so grateful for that. I am so happy that in 1982 we were asking about gender identification and sexual orientation. I just appreciate the film and I'm open to any conversation about it. My father opened the first gay resort in 1977 in upstate New York. So when I was 8 years old, I remember like dancing and singing at the, you know, at the resort and feeling very, very connected to the community. So it sort of makes sense to me in my lineage to kind of have taken a part of this movie, you know. And Judy's a whore, so she deserves it.
It rhymes with schmore.
I know, there's like kids, I'm like, I'm only kidding.
Next victim?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Hi,
Felissa.
Hi.
Okay, was that your hands ever in any of the kills, or was that somebody else's hands?
No, unfortunately my hands were too small, so they felt like if they used my hands it would just be an immediate giveaway. Not that I'm killing anyone, for those who haven't seen the movie, but they did use Jonathan Tiersten, who played Ricky, my cousin. His hands felt more appropriate because they were small, but they were sort of ambiguous, and it didn't give too much away. So, yeah. And I think my parents were like, okay, you know, she's done enough in the movie. She doesn't need to kill everybody at 13. So.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello again.
Hi.
So I asked this question earlier, and with you and Sleepaway Camp coming out in the 80s, outside of your respective franchise, what is like your favorite horror movie from the 80s?
Well, my favorite movie of all time is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original.
Yeah.
There's just, I'm so obsessed with that movie that a month ago, I had a screening in Ohio at Studio 35. I'm friends with the people there. And I was like, let's get a great print. I want to fly in and watch it with an audience. And it was sold out. There were like 250 people. And I just wanted popcorn. And I sat in the theater like, I am in love with this movie. I just think it's so gritty and so perfect in every way. And the characters and Ed Neal as the hitchhiker, just to this day, is just magnificent in his performance. And I appreciate the film. But there's so many. I mean, I love Last House on the Left, The Exorcist, Poltergeist, The Shining. You know, there's Magic, Friday the 13th, Halloween, Black Christmas. You know, we go through them all, and I watch them now with my kids, and it's so fun to see through their lens, and they love them. And they'll call me, I just watched Evil Dead Rising, and they want to have a conversation. I'm like, oh my God, and we're really intense and passionate about it.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Gotta be quick with that.
Hi.
Hello. So with the rise of like social media and like TikTok, for example, I've noticed like a lot of the younger generations that they've started to embrace the 80s a lot more. Have you noticed that at like conventions and stuff and like
Thank goodness.
yeah, just like stuff like that. It's really popping off. So can you tell
Yes.
us maybe some of your favorite instances with some of the younger generations?
Absolutely, they're starting to have some taste in film. Well, first of all, I love James A. Janice. He's dead meat, kill count. Yeah! And he's certainly shining a light on all of these older films for the younger generation. And it's beautiful. You know, he's just kind of the most popular YouTuber. So if you haven't checked him out, James A. Janice, he's dead meat. And he's awesome. And Joe Bob Briggs is certainly, he's bringing so much love to our classics. And it's beautiful to watch that because, you know, it's film, it's practical effects, and it's nice for young people to see what was happening way back when. And I love new films as well, but I definitely enjoy, you know, seeing people. My kids will come to me and, this is kind of funny. My daughter's on TikTok. Well, I have 3 kids, but my middle daughter, Lola, is like all about TikTok. And the other day she's like, yeah, so they were like talking about actors. She doesn't talk like this, but it's a funny character. And like, they were talking about people who are nice in horror, and you were listed. I was like, oh, you should see her when she's telling me to clean my room. She's like, I'm gonna take a video next time and send it to that person. And I'm like, go to your room now. No.
That's good.
I'm like, do it, you know? I'm your mom. I'm supposed to do that. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun to watch them and see, you know, social media from their perspective. I hate it, but it's okay. You know, I just want us to be like, my big girl doesn't like social media. She's like, why can't we be back in the 80s where like a boy would come to the house and knock on the door and have real flowers, not an emoji. I was like, so true, yeah. She's old school.
Yep, I dig it.
Yeah. Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. So to kind of segue off what they were saying, and I know this is a sleepaway camp thing, and we all love sleepaway camp. I was kind of wanting to know Damien Leone, what he's doing with the game right now.
Yeah.
You know, we love you in Terrifier 2. So are we going to be able to see you in part 3?
Well, I've been begging, and the restraining order, he just sent it to me. No, I'm kidding. I love Damien Leone so much that I met him at a convention in 2018. I could not run fast enough to go to his table. I was like, hi, my name's Felissa Rose, and like I really love Terrifier, and if you ever make a sequel, well, hi, you can call me. He was like, oh, okay, thanks so much. And he did. One day I was like just driving, and you know, we had exchanged numbers, and he called. He's like, hey, I know you're in Cali, but come fly out to New York. I want you to be this teacher, and she's funny and mean, and let's do it. And I was like, oh, okay, really cool. Then I like cried, because I cry. And I was so excited because I'm such a fan. And the same thing happened with Adam Green, because I love Hatchet. And I was like, oh my God, if I could ever serve you coffee, I will. But it's those directors that are changing the game and so amazing and so passionate. And it's fun to be at conventions because meeting everyone, all the creative people, the artwork, the filmmakers, thank you all for doing such incredible. I see my friend here who brought me the most beautiful Victor Crowley art piece. Thank you. Yeah, you're amazing. And it's inspiring to me. And Damien is unbelievable, and I have a new movie with him called Stream. And he might decapitate me in that, so just saying. It's a great film.
Off with it, head.
Okay, so you're given producer role, director, writer for a new Sleepaway Camp movie. And you also have to act in it. What's it going to be about? Who are you going to play? Well, I mean, obviously you're going to play, but how would you do it?
It's called Aunt Martha, the prequel. And it's the story of crazy Aunt Martha. and I want to know her backstory. I want to know her entire life. I want to know why that lunatic did what she did, how, why, everything. I want to unfold and get into the mind of the incredible character of Aunt Martha, and I will play her as an old lady, but I want to find someone spectacular, maybe Amelie, who plays Pale Girl from Terrifier, as the young Aunt Martha, and we're going to go nuts with it. No pun intended.
That was an enthusiastic answer. That's been thought about already.
Oh my gosh, I am so I've been talking to people about making it, the Sleepaway Camp people, and they're just so lackadaisical, yeah, dude, we're gonna make another one. Well, you haven't, so I'm gonna run with it and do what I want, even if I have to call it Aunt Marty. It's if you don't want to be part of it, I'm gonna do my own thing. Peace out.
So, being such an iconic woman in horror, how has things changed in the business being a prominent woman in the acting business?
So first of all, thank you. I mean, it's hard for me to even hear that because I'm I did this movie when I was 13, and then I really dropped the business because I didn't think I had any place being here as a child. It's an adult industry, truly. They treat you like an adult. Go here, do this. And I was I think I need to go back to 8th grade. Sorry. And then I went to college and I studied, and it wasn't until my 20s I was well, I kind of want to go back. And then I did a little bit, and then I had kids. And it wasn't until the past 10 years. So I really love being in this industry, and the course for me was I love acting, but ageism is true. And being a woman in her mid-50s, I don't want to be in front of the camera. I love acting, and I love the characters I'm getting now. But 10 years ago, I was kind of I look like shit, I'm digital, this is hard. So I decided to produce, because producing is like being a mom. It's somebody's crying, somebody's screaming, somebody needs money, somebody's annoying. So I was I got this. I can juggle this. And I bought 3 books off Amazon, How to Produce. And I read them from front to back, and I was I think I got this. And I started calling people hey, do you need anybody? Because I'm your person. And I met a lot of people, and they were really cool about throwing the reins to me. And I have had the best time. Sadly, not sadly, but I work, with a lot of men. So I have to put you people in place. And that's what you have to do. You have to stand your ground, be strong, know who you are, have a voice, and be heard. And that's what I do every day.
Thank you.
Rock star. I'm so glad you asked that question because I'm so glad that I heard that she bought those books off Amazon. That's amazing.
You better leave them 5-star reviews on my book.
Yeah, I should.
So, hi. It's nice to see you again.
Hi.
And of course, I'll be back tomorrow. But I wanted to ask, so of course, we are all horror fans here. And we all love slasher movies. We love the 80s, right?
Yeah.
So, I had to ask, a lot of people have different opinions about horror and how things are now versus how they used to be. And I might know the answer to this question already, but I want to know, what was your favorite scary movie of the last 20 years?
Oh, of the last 20 years? Oh, that's a rough one. Well, Scream, I'm a big franchise. Scream is an amazing franchise, and that also changed the game. They changed the game. I love The Strangers. Because I'm a home invasion nut. I love the remake of Funny Games.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's torture! How many men are really chasing me with a fucking chainsaw? But breaking into your house could happen, and they could do all the crap that they did in that movie, and it's fascinating to me. I get so enthralled and clearly passionate about that. I love the Halloween franchise. All the new Halloweens are, to me, just bringing back again nostalgia. I'm trying to think like what else I've seen just even, in the movie. I mean, Terrifier's chip, like you said, changed the game. And truly, when I saw the first Terrifier, I was blown away. That is an iconic character that we're going to watch forever and ever and ever. So yeah, those are all my favorite movies.
It's a good question.
Yeah, thank you.
Love you.
I love you. Hi. Oh, here's my friend Kayla.
Hey,
Are we
there.
doing shots?
I mean, if you have some left, I will.
I have some left. There's no tequila left.
That's sad.
Aw. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
So I know you're friends with David Sheridan. So is there a possibility of Doofy and Angela hooking up?
Doofy and Angela hooking up. Oh my God, I should FaceTime him right now. Should we FaceTime him? Yes. Why are you calling me? Okay, let's see. Okay. I don't know if he'll answer, but this would be so fun. So the truth is, Dave Sheridan is like my best friend in the world. And we've done 37 projects together.
Oh, wow.
The first one being Victor Crowley, which is crazy because Victor Crowley is, a pretty recent movie. But I really appreciate his talent, and I love his character development. And to be perfectly honest, he has really helped shape my career in that I understood how to sort of portray a new, any role that I'm given. He taught me how to kind of bring it to life. He's not answering. It says unavailable. Like you did, Sharon. Maybe I'll call back. But he really taught me like what it meant to read a script, then to read the script and really understand the character, and then to really kind of punch it up and go for it. And I am a great admirer of his. Will Doofy and Angela ever get together? I hope not. But maybe they will. I don't know. They're kind of perfect together because I just want to point something out. They were both outcasts. They were both living a lie of being something they weren't. And at the very end, something is revealed in who they are. We discovered that as we became friends. Isn't that interesting? Although he was really cool at the end. And again, I was just a dick.
I was gonna say, last year was my first time leaving Wisconsin. You two were probably one of my highlights.
Aw, Kayla, I love you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Look, I'm gonna give you guys a secret too about Kayla over here. She came up to me last night at the movies for the special viewing.
Yeah.
And she said that she loved my content. And I'm like, my content? I thought she thought I was somebody else. And she was like, no, I watched your interview with Leslie Dean. I was like, gosh, that was like 2 years ago. Yeah, I like it too. Game State, YouTube, we do stuff.
Yeah, and that's amazing because it's like, again, we're all a family and we all contribute to this amazing community. And it's like, whether you're doing a podcast or you have an idea for a film or what have you, it's just get it out there and do it because it's super special as a family for all of us to keep it alive.
And it's super fun to meet all you guys and hear all these questions.
Hello, Felissa.
Hi.
My question is, you're known to be a convention sweetheart, and as someone that travels the country myself for horror conventions and such, vlogging, I want to know what is your process for getting ready for, getting through, and getting back home from a convention?
Okay, thank you. And that's a brilliant question that no one has asked because there is like a whole process. That's so amazing. And it's funny because I just put on my Instagram that I'm going to do a new Instagram called Friends First. And it's just going to be a new Instagram where I do exactly that. It's like there's a whole thing. So I have 3 kids, and my husband's on tour. So my teenagers are home alone. So I don't know if the house is going to be standing when I get back. But it's like I have to get them prepared. So there's a whole thing with getting my kids ready. Then I have to pack myself up and get, ready for this. And when I got here, let's say last night, I
do my meditation before I go to sleep. And when I wake up, I do a meditation where I'm just like, I hope today is a really good day. I want to spread, and connect and have love and kindness with everybody that I meet. And it means the world to me that I have the opportunity to be here with all of you. So thank you so much for having me. And then it's like I feel really good and I get to my table and it's just an unbelievable bubble of joy being here at any convention, whether we're, in Europe or we're, in this city or another city. Next week I'll be in Houston. The weekend after that I'll be in New York. The weekend after that I'll be in Pennsylvania. The weekend after that I'll be in Florida. The weekend after, so it's 48 conventions a year, and I'm going to share it on Instagram. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Felissa.
She was naming off those states and these people over here reacting to the horse. I was like, oh, they hate Pennsylvania. Those people hate Pennsylvania.
Oh, the Pennsylvania gonna That's a drive-in. It's the Mahoning drive-in.
Anywhere but Pennsylvania.
Hi.
Hello, Felissa. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Let's forget Sleepaway Camp. What is your favorite movie that you've been involved in personally?
Wow. That's like asking me which kid I like best. No, I'm kidding. That's hard because obviously Sleepaway Camp, you said besides Sleepaway Camp, which is my first, and we always remember our first. I love to return to Sleepaway Camp because it was like 20 years later I got to really sort of live at camp and hang and be an adult, on set. There was always a party in my cabin. But there were a lot of movies that I loved. Victor Crowley, Terrifier 2, A Nun's Curse, Camp Dread. And for a multitude of reasons, like whether it's A Nun's Curse was with my favorite friend, Tommy Faircloth, who is a director of Family Possessions and A Nun's Curse. Camp Dread, because I got to hang out with Danielle Harris and Eric Roberts. It's always like the team, the people, the content, just so many beautiful elements that come together that make it really fun and a special experience. So they're all living inside my heart, and I love the characters, and each one gave me just a beautiful experience that I reflect on and feel so grateful for.
That's awesome.
Okay, so in a quick response to something you said earlier, I have a hard time believing that you would ever look like shit. You were beautiful in Sleepaway Camp and beautiful now.
Yeah, tell the truth. Tell the truth. Testify.
So my question is there any role that you've auditioned for and didn't get, and then whenever the movie came out, you were just like, oh crap, I wish I would have gotten that?
That's a great question. I would say the closest situation that didn't work out were the sequels, parts 2 and 3. And I was probably 16 when I had the same manager that I had when I did the first one. They were these New York managers, and they were like, look, we got this movie for you. And I was like, oh, okay. And that was Sleepaway Camp. And then they called a few years later, and they were like, look, they're doing sequels. Do you want the job or not? And I was like, oh, okay, it's a new director. They were hilarious. They did talk like that. And I met with Michael Simpson, the director and writer of the sequels. And when I sat with him, I was like, hi, nice to meet you. And I thought Angela would be the same Angela that was from the original, shy and awkward and introverted, and the character I understood. And all of a sudden, she was like this wisecracking, crazy, fun character that I didn't understand, and I sucked. I read it and I was like, oh my gosh, I just don't connect with this material because I don't understand this, character. So Michael and I were like, okay, bye, see ya. And I said to my manager, I don't think this role is good for me because I am shitty at reading these lines. I don't get it, and I'll be shitty in the movies. And so they were like, all right, we'll tell him. And they called him, and he said, okay, he already really wanted Pam Springsteen, and then I went off to college, and it all worked out. But to this day, my husband is like,
why didn't you do sequels? He's like, part 2 was my favorite. And so I'm like, fuck off. No. I just say, I'm sorry, like, you know, it didn't work out. And truly, you know, I think she was phenomenal and brilliant, and I love her in the sequels. And it just worked out the way, Pam Springsteen. And it worked out the way it did because I wanted to go to college and have that experience, and they went off to make really fun sequels. Thank you. Thank you.
That's a good question.
Excellent. Oh, excellent questions. Wow. Y'all have me on my toes.
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering, in Return to Sleepaway Camp, was that like a stunt actor, or was that you in the hoodie?
That is so great. Has anyone seen Return to Sleepaway Camp? Okay, so I am in Return to Sleepaway now. I was in 6.5 hours of makeup for the character. I could only work 3 hours because then it took 3 hours to take the makeup off. And the hoodie killer was me like 80% of the time. There were a couple of stunts where they brought in a couple of other people to kind of make it, you know, work more kind of smoothly. I didn't have certain, you know, experience with things that they needed. But yeah, most of the time it was me in that hood, and it was 100% me in Sheriff Jerry.
Cool.
So yeah, it was really fun playing that damn weird little sheriff. Hi. Hi. Now all of a sudden the Q&A is like, I have no curse words to say. Thank y'all for being here. I really appreciate it. Hi, Kayla.
Yeah, me again, I'm sorry.
No, I love you. We love Kayla.
I wish my birth parents thought the same thing.
Yo, that's... You gotta give me their phone number before you leave. I'm calling your parents.
What, my real parents?
Yeah.
You don't know anything about my adopted parents? Maybe.
Oh, I see. I was adopted too.
Yeah?
So one thing more we have in common.
From where?
Like, I don't know, Arkansas?
Oh. I think I beat you. Korea. I'm gonna let you decide which side.
The good side.
It depends which side you support.
Let's just leave that in the air.
So, what's the oddest autograph you ever had to sign?
Oh, she's too little to hear the DILDO. What? I get a lot of DILDOs.
Oh,
yeah.
Gross.
And sometimes some little sausage packages, you know, like little sausage packages.
Can you explain to those what they are? Because I never had that education.
Yeah, they're really interesting. They're like in a little, you know, yes, Vienna sausages. They're
like cocktail doggies.
Yeah, little cocktail sausages. Yeah. I sign a lot of curling irons. I sign a lot of people, which is always amazing to me. I'm like blown away by that and super flattered and honored, and we're together forever. And it's just amazing to me. Yeah, definitely the DILD. Hi, I love you. I love you. She's the best.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my beautiful artist.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Going back to earlier, after being producer for a while, how does it feel like winning Best Actress by Tuesday of War?
Oh my gosh. So I've never won anything, ever. That was, I think, the first horror award I ever got. I just got my first Best Actress award for the movie I did called Late Checkout, and I just found out yesterday.
Yay!
I gotta go. Tuesday of Horror selected. I literally cried. I was like, oh my God, so choked up. I'm so completely honored, and it does mean everything to me. You know, with these films, especially with these low-budget indie films that we can speak about, because the strike has nothing to do with indie movies, and I only work in the independent circuit, we work hard. We work
long hours. I just did a film. We worked 18 hours a day. And it is blood, sweat, and tears. We are there to commit to these movies. And sometimes they are shit. Excuse me.
I think we're all past
but
that.
in the best way. In the best way. Like, you know, you just see us really trying, you know? So thank you for giving them a chance and for watching them. And thank you for that question and for bringing that up. I appreciate it. I love you. Thank you.
Love you
Thank
too. Okay, so I have a funnier question on top of that. That's really important. So, you know Victor Crowley is my favorite movie ever. We've talked about it. When you and Dave Sheridan were in the movie together, and
you know all about Dave Sheridan, you won't call me
no,
back.
did you guys ever run lines, especially the scene where he first meets Rose, and he says a Rose by any other name, and then she responds, "I have a dick." So, have you ever done that line with him?
That's really weird. Has anyone seen Victor Crowley? Okay, because thank you, Victor Crowley. So Dave Sheridan decided that was, you know, written about me because her name's Rose and she talks about her dick. And no, Dave and I were not friends on that set. I mean, we introduced ourselves like, hey, nice to meet you. But I was in the Perry Shen circle and sort of there were groups. The only time we were all together as a cast was on the plane, which was a lot, but mostly I was with Perry, and Dave was mostly with, you know, Laura Ortiz and that crowd. So we didn't really have the opportunity. A couple of times we talked, but we weren't really good friends until he kept stalking me about conventions. He was like, I want to go to conventions, and he would call my phone, he'd blow my phone up like literally 300 times a day. I was like, oh my gosh. Finally, I was like, okay, come to a convention with me. And that's when I said, you know what, I'm producing stuff, come hang out, and you're a great actor, and we started doing that. But we didn't really have that camaraderie on Victor Crowley, and he does talk about the Rose and everything now. He's like, I feel like Adam was talking about you. But Adam denies it. Adam's like, nope. And then there's the bookstore, and it's called Bianca's Books. My daughter's Bianca. My daughter Lola is the voice in the beginning that's like, once upon a time, there was a boy named Victor Crowley. And she was like 9 when she did that voiceover. So I feel like, you know, I love that movie, and there's a lot of love in there for everybody. So it's special to me because I love Adam Green.
That's awesome. Awesome answer, awesome question. You guys are killing it in this panel.
Yeah, wow. Thank you all for being here. I love you. I hope you know that. I really appreciate each and every one of you. You take the time to come here and to spend these moments. And it's like, I just can't tell you, I'm looking at each and every one of you, and I am super thankful to meet you. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
I feel like you mean that too. I feel like she means it.
I'm a pretty open book. If I didn't mean it, I wouldn't be saying it. Like, what you see is what you get.
Her eyes have been watering like 4 times already.
What's that?
Your eyes have watered up like 4 times already.
So happy.
Come on, guys. Yeah, y'all don't stop now.
I was wondering what
Curling iron is so fun and weird and creative, and it doesn't even show anything. You know, it's like jazz hands. You can feel it, and the thing about Sleepaway Camp is it's not really gory, it's not really bloody, but it's definitely like in your own imagination, like, what? Those bees, ooh, those, you know, that curling iron, wow. The bow and arrow, I love that too. That was so good. Like, especially for 1982, it's almost seamless. Like, it goes up, it goes in, and it's like, how? You know, did we kill Mike Ellis? Yeah, super fun. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, my friend. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Great.
Great.
Thank you.
Everybody here? Yeah. So 2 things. I watched Sleepaway Camp when I want to say I was in kindergarten. My brother.
It's the perfect age.
My brother was 6 years older. He showed me everything. So, after I was done being scarred for life by the end of the movie, I had the absolute biggest crush on you, and then you were gone for a long time. You were nowhere, and then you would return to sleepaway camp, so my life was complete again. But how did you get cast in the first one? What was your casting process like as a kid for the first sleepaway camp?
That's a great question. I was just like taking singing and dancing lessons in a local little school in New York, and a manager came in and said, "Hey, look, we're looking for kids. Anybody want to do this professionally?" And my mother being like, "Yeah, she would like to do it professionally." And I was like, "I don't know that I want to do it professionally, but it sounds like it could be fun." And my first audition was for a movie that required a flat-chested, that's funny, wide-eyed little girl. And the manager sent me to meet the director. His name is Robert Hiltzik. And he was in a room, and I walked in, and as soon as I met him, I was like, "Hi, I feel like I know you." Like, it was just this really nice and immediate, getting to know this person and connection. And he asked me to pretend to eat a candy bar. I thought I would be funny, and I was picking my teeth. He was like, "No, this isn't a comedy." So I just did it, and he was like, "Just sit and stare," and I did. And I walked out and I said, "Mom, I think I got that movie." She was like, "Oh my God, settle down, you didn't get that movie." I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I got a call back, and I met with the producers, and they were like, "Just run on a beach. Pretend you're running on a beach, and you want to kiss this boy, and you're shy." And I was like, "Okay." And then next week I got a call that I got the movie. And they were like, "You're going to go away for 2 months to a sleepaway camp. That's the director's real camp, Camp Algonquin." And I read the script, and I thought, "Oh, this is cool." And I fell in love with Jonathan Tiersten, who plays Ricky, who's my first love. And we dated for 48 hours, and then he broke my heart. And we made the movie, and I saw it, and I was like, "Okay, well, that was really nice." And then
Awesome, that's a good question. Guys, I think we may have time for one more question, if someone wants to ask one. All right.
So, last one I've got for you. I don't want to touch on anything sensitive in news these days, but how does your husband and all of his family and friends treat sleepaway camp with you?
how did my husband?
And a lot of his family and friends really, in the past and now, treat sleepaway camp at home and with you.
Okay, well, my husband is the biggest sleepaway camp supporter. In fact, we met because he was in a band called CKY, and when he was 12, his friend brought over a VHS copy of a movie called Sleepaway Camp, and they watched the first half and said, "This sucks, this baseball game is too long." So they turned it off, and then he went back to it because he was like, "I don't know, maybe I kind of liked it." And he watched it, and he turned around to his parents and said, "I'm going to marry that girl named Felissa Rose." So he started a band, and he put the Angela face on his guitar, on his album cover, and on Jackass, the TV show. Yeah. He's on the first episode where it's Van wakes his parents up with metal music, and he's wearing the Angela face. And I saw it and went, "What the f is that?" And then he kept emailing me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this stalker." My kids call him the lazy stalker, because he wasn't aggressive, but he was kind of like, "Hey, I'm here." And then we met because he flew out to the Return to Sleepaway Camp set. And as soon as I met him, he was like, "Do you want to marry me?" And I was like, "Okay, that sounds great." And we got tattooed a week later, and it's been 20 years.
Wow, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So he likes the movie. I forgot to say that.
So, another really awesome question to get another really awesome answer. Okay, guys, y'all give it up really, really loud, please. Miss Felissa Rose, everybody.